Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the LinkedIn newsletter with Muaz Aznan. We are doing a Meet the Team segment. Right. Hi, Muaz. Welcome.
Hi.
Uh, Tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from. How did you get started in your career?
Yeah, so a little bit about myself. Again, I'm Muaz. I'm the analyst at PTKO. I guess where I'm from California, but I was actually born in Malaysia. And then when I was around 4 years old, we moved to California permanently. And that's basically where I've been ever since then. How I basically got my start in my career, that's a really great question. So I technically graduated with a major in biology. And the original plan was to do PA school, which is becoming a physician assistant. Long story short, that obviously didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
But I eventually got started in the sort of like donation crowdfunding space at a company called LaunchGood. And then I was there for about 9 months. And then after that, I worked for Pillars Fund, which is a Muslim-led philanthropy in Chicago. After doing some data work there, Stefan reached out, since I know him from before, about a job at PTKO, and now we're here, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know any of that about you, so I'm glad I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So you were born in Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
Moved to California when you were 4.
Yeah.
And then just been a California native ever since. That's great.
Basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you did like a huge transition from biology, right? Or
Yes. So that transition was weird because to call it a transition is generous. So at the end of my fourth year of college, I basically took some time to like self-reflect, and I was like, I don't think this is actually what I want to do. So I spent a fifth year of college just sort of doing anything really, and I got interested in sort of like consulting analytical work. Where I had originally met Stefan was when I graduated. It was in the middle of a pandemic, and he was a part of the data strategy fellowship that PTKO did with TechSoup. I met him there, did some data analytical work there, and he found me impressive. And after that was LaunchGood, and then after that was Pillars Fund, and after that is PTKO when Stefan reached out again and asked if I was interested in the job. So here we are.
great. I also graduated in the middle of the pandemic, so congrats to us.
Yeah, I never got the, I never actually got my like walk-in little hat and diploma. Just
I
a
didn't get to
Zoom.
walk. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a Zoom call and a PowerPoint slide.
Yeah, I had the same thing. My friends put it all together. They did a Zoom, PowerPoint. I did buy a cap and gown and sash, but that's about it.
Oh, nice.
What is something people should know about you? Like something to do with a unique experience of your own, or maybe when you're not working on PTKO work, what are you doing?
So I'll take the second one. When I'm not doing PTKO work, it's usually one of two things. I am currently serving on the board of trustees for a student-focused nonprofit called MSA West. And my role there is sort of like development operations because of my previous experience with just fundraising, philanthropy, etc. And so I'm doing that and helping them overhaul their development operations and getting that nonprofit off the ground. So it's really exciting because I was a part of that organization when I was in college as a sort of like constituent, if you will. And now I'm, on the other side of the equation, if you will. If I'm not doing that, then on the weekend it's usually reading. Yeah, usually a lot of reading actually. Right now, generally speaking, if what I'm reading usually revolves around either science fiction, but if I'm doing nonfiction, then it's usually some combination of like history or philosophy.
Right.
Yeah. Strangely enough, I somehow got more nerdier after college, which I don't think happens for most people, but here we are. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. We love nerd stuff around here.
Yeah.
Especially at PTKO. You fit right in. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Something about college just like sucks the joy out of it, and once you leave, it gets a lot better.
It's like you're too busy. You don't want to. The stuff you have to read is so boring.
Yeah.
So, what is one thing you're passionate about?
I think it sort of relates back to the nonprofit that I'm sort of volunteering for. I think so. Specifically, the sort of audience that nonprofit focuses on is Muslim college students, and so I'm very particularly passionate about that demographic in my own sort of faith-based community. I think there's a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of things to be optimistic about when it comes to Muslim college students and sort of energy and the sort of ideas that they can bring to sort of the wider, society. I myself was one of those individuals that, older people would sort of look and sort of see promise, and they really helped, sort of mentor me. Now I can do the same thing, but for, people that are younger than me, and to sort of repay that debt, if you will. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about.
It's really nice. It's good to give back. I like that. Me being Persian, I can relate to your whole Muslim, the aspect of that. I'm not Muslim myself, but I'm very familiar with the culture and all that. But
Yeah.
really great stuff. Great work you're doing. How do you show up for people you love?
Great question. I think, generally speaking, it's, again, sort of going with the theme of volunteering. It's usually acts of service. If we're to use a sort of like love language terminology, it's usually acts of service. I think one of my maybe shortcomings is that I like when it comes to providing like verbal affirmations, I'm not the best from a sort of like word or tone perspective. But what I'll always be able to do is sort of provide, my effort and my energy. So whether that's, just listening to someone, or solving that person's problem, or just being their friend. That's usually how I show up for people that I love and people that I care about.
Oh, that's beautiful, because sometimes words can be just words, so people do need the action to like really feel love. So, but it depends on the person, obviously.
Yes, that's what I've learned. It depends on the person. I have the sort of inclination towards service, but sometimes the person really just does need someone to sort of, talk and listen and sort of, lean on. And that's sort of an area of growth for me.
Very nice. So just like our podcast, I'm going to ask you, what is one song that gets you motivated?
Okay, so I thought about this one. There's a lot, but growing up, I say that as if I'm really old, but anyways, growing up, I listened to a lot of, I think they're still active, I'm pretty sure, but The Script. I think they're like Irish or something, but I think they're fairly popular. At least they were back in my day in America. But they have a song called Hall of Fame, and I remember I used to listen to that a lot whenever I used to work out back in college. And it's just about whatever situation you're in, sort of acting as if you are going to be in the Hall of Fame of whatever sport you're going to be a part of, whatever activity you're going to be a part of. So having that sort of aspirational mindset.
Kind of like manifestation.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, manifesting, a sort of higher goal for yourself. You may be doing something very maybe minuscule or trivial, but to sort of help you see that in a greater light. So sort of pretending that you're in the Hall of Fame or something.
Yeah, that's great. I've never heard of them, but obviously I'll listen to them now because I'm going to add that into this LinkedIn newsletter.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Great. Yay.